call on the Minister for Education, Heritage and Arts, the Honourable Rosie Hart. You have the floor, ma'am.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker, sir. I rise to answer the question put to me through Honourable Pillai. The question is asking, Mr. Speaker, sir, which support will be provided, but we already started with our psychosocial support well before the school year commenced for this year. When we talk about psychosocial support, Mr. Speaker, sir, this normally is expected after disasters and traumatic events. And for us in the north, at the ground level, when we went out and spoke to people, they said this was the first time for families in the north to experience a cyclone of such a nature, and that's what TC YASA triggered us to activate our psychosocial support. In terms of providing psychosocial support, the reason why we do that is to bring about a sense of normalcy, a sense of safety for our people, calming our people down, creating that social connectedness that is needed, and of course, hope. And while I'm talking of hope, I try to Google the color for hope, and the color for hope is yellow. So I would have expected us to unite by wearing color yellow when TC YASA and ANA was affecting our people. But today when I look around, I see red color. I thought Valentine's is today. Then I realized Valentine's is on Sunday. So if I can urge our people in times of disasters and traumatic events, let us all unite and wear yellow so that our people know we are there to care for them. The whole nation expected us to unite, and I'm really disappointed that we did not unite to assist when our nation needed our help. And here we are uniting for one cause. But then that's the choice people make. Ladies and gentlemen, when we provide Mr. Speaker said, when we provide psychosocial support, we help change our people become active survivors rather than passive victims. So TC YASA was, like I said, a first experience for our people in the north, and it did not just take away the homes of the people, it took away livelihoods. And while the families tried to put their lives back together, we, the ministry, concentrated on the traumatic impact that had on the children, which probably would have gone unnoticed. As a government, we coordinated with the NDMO, we coordinated with the Commissioner's Office, and we coordinated with a lot of NGOs and individuals to assist families with food and rebuilding. As a ministry, it was our responsibility to ensure that our children got the support in dealing with the trauma, so they had some normalcy in lives and the learning was not seriously hampered. Small things like, I traveled on my way to Lekutu. I stopped over at one school in Nasarwanga because our students were in the learning spaces. So I walked into the classroom and the kids were all happy, so I started talking to them. But when I looked around, there was a small boy sitting in a corner. This was like a year 7 boy. And the first thing I noticed was that he was in civilian clothing. And that's one thing that we did. We allowed children to come back. So I took the teacher aside and said, what's the issue here? I was told this family had everything gone. And when I looked at the kid closely, he was so sad, and I did not want to pick on him. So we took him outside and said, what do you need? So he said, we need shoes, and there are 4 other siblings. So simple things like that. And we told our teachers to be mindful, to pick up the signs of those children who would not be willing to be in school, but probably forced to come to school through parents, etc. So small help like that was given not only by the ministry, but a lot of NGOs. But well before school started, Mr. Speaker, we engaged our Substance Abuse and Advisory Council, Medical Service Pacific, Empower Pacific, the Correctional Service, and our 7 recently trained school councils in the north to conduct counseling support program in the Northern Division from the 18th to the 29th of January this year. And this was for teachers and students. And of course, there were various methods used by this organization, and we found out that the children were very quick to respond to the counseling tactics, while the teachers probably were still down with the trauma of losing their homes, their quarters, and the rest of the stuff. So the program was conducted in 22 northern schools, which included 16 primary schools, 5 secondary schools, and 1 special school. Our counselors attended to about 1,938 students and 207 teachers in the YASA affected areas. The Ministry for the first time has collaborated with the Australian government and provided 35 teachers from the Central, Western and Northern Division an opportunity to undertake a diploma in counselling delivered by the Australian Pacific Training Coalition. All these 35 teachers have graduated with a diploma on the 11th of January 2021. Mr. Speaker, we understand that the two recent cyclones have emotionally and financially impacted the lives of our families, teachers and students. That's why the first week of reopening our schools was to allow our teachers and students to settle into the classroom environment. We are currently working with DFAT to run a pilot program in the Northern Division as soon as the North opens, with our recently graduated counsellors and trained psychologists based at DFAT. DFAT has helped us prepare a counselling kit, which includes materials such as toys, counselling aid, posters for our students that will be distributed to selected schools as part of the Student Support Service pilot program. Counselling will need to continue for some time, and we intend to put our 7 trained counsellors in clusters and reduce the teaching loads so they can attend to students and teachers from their schools and their cluster. Many heads of school, a total of 315 heads of schools, have also undergone training in counselling, and we expect them to take a lead role in providing support to their students and teachers. We also plan to conduct further trainings for all our heads of schools. Mr. Speaker, we are looking at holding discussions with our teacher training institutions to request that they include counselling as part of the teacher training programs. In this way, we will systematically train all our teachers who graduate in the future to be able to provide the ongoing support to our students. Thank you.